We are back here doing a Mock the Mock. Thanks to got my bro Schmo over there and Hail Mary Sports. We're doing here, this is from LionsWire. This is Jordan Reid's mock draft. My guy, Jeff Risdon, loves this mock draft. He went through it, and I already seen it. I love this mock draft. I think it's pretty realistic. You know, is there some selections that you could say a little bit different? Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I think this is realistic. For sure. So of a lot of the mock drafts that have been out there for, the big media, I think this is a better one for sure. But before we get into today's video, if you're not a subscriber to Lions Nation Unite, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Trying to get to 8,000 subs. We just passed 7K. Shout out to you guys for getting it done. Also, smash that like button. It does help. Mock the mock. I like just seeing what other people think and give you my thoughts on it for sure. Realistic, unrealistic. This is more of a realistic one that I've seen in some time. I actually seen one on Pride of Detroit today that's extremely unrealistic. It started really well with the trade, and then it kind of fell off for me. But we're going to go through Jordan Reid's ESPN analyst, who's, not just a Detroit guy, so he has some good information here. We're going to slowly do it because the picks is really quick. So the first one here is pick 6, Tyree Wilson, the edge from Texas Tech. I concur. I think this is a realistic option for the Detroit Lions. If they stay at pick 6, this is probably who they take, in all honesty here, because he can pass rush, but more importantly, he can help stop the run, and that's what we're problem have right now for the Detroit Lions, is we got guys that can definitely rush the passer, but we need an athletic freak that can help stop the run. I know if Jalen Carter is there, people would love to get Jalen Carter. Personally, I don't believe the Lions are going to do that. That is my personal belief. Would I do it? Probably I would take a chance on it for sure. I mean, I think they're going to do their due diligence as they should. But Tyree Wilson, to me, he does got a high ceiling, and I would like him in Detroit. I think it would be a solid pick for the Lions. Him and Aiden Hutchinson, Joshua Pascal, Romeo Akwara, Charles Harris, John Kaminsky, Ali McNeil. This defensive line is getting pretty nasty. Is he, the DT? No, he's an edge, but he can help stop the run. That's what he can do. So I think this is a realistic option for the Lions. Would love it. What is your thoughts on taking Tyree Wilson at 6? Let me know. One thought, one word in that bad boy. Again, I'm looking to trade down or potentially trade up. Trade down is my number one scenario. But here, this is what they went with, staying at 6. So at number 18, Deonte Banks, the cornerback out of Maryland. I think this is realistic. I know we have a lot of cornerbacks on this roster, but if you're going BPA, and that's what Brad Holmes does, I have absolutely no problem taking Deonte Banks. Throw him in this secondary because you only got 2 cornerbacks or 3 cornerbacks on the roster in next year. Well, 2.5, I guess you put, because obviously, you got Sutton, you got Chase Lucas, and Melifonwu, safety cornerback. He's really a safety, so it's like 2.5. I guess he's a universal player. So getting Deonte Banks settles that position. Long haul, and he gets to develop and get some playing time as well. I think it's a reality. I think possible. If he's sitting there, it's possible. Could they go a different route? Absolutely. They go a Kalijah Cansey. Or they go Osiris Torrance or a different guard if someone fell. But I think it is possible Banks could be, if he's there, a pick. So I would be fine with it. I'm not going to cry about it. Again, it is a position that we can just get better, and something that we'll have for next year as well. Because let's be honest here, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for corners to develop. And you're sitting behind Gardner Johnson this year, and you're sitting behind Emmanuel Mosley, Jerry Jacobs, Sutton. I mean, that's a good person to learn behind, and then you take your step in 2024 to be that guy, and he is a dog. Next pick here, they select Keeanu Benton, the defensive tackle there from Tennessee. I like Keanu Benton. I honestly, I think it's probably a little bit high, but I do understand it. I'm more probably a third-round prospect to me. But look, if you First off, we need a defensive tackle in a big way. We definitely need that. That is not a want, it is a need. He plays hard with leverage. He is a dog. He doesn't give up on the play. He is the guy that would really fit opposite well of Lee McNeil with his size of 309 pounds. He's a big body, 6'3", and if you miss out on DT with 6, if you decide not to go Jalen Carter or Kalijah Cansey, I'm not going to be upset if you take a Keeanu Benton at 48, even though I think it's more of a third-round prospect, because you're like, look, we got to get that position, and he does have an upside, and it does help the Detroit Lions out in a big way. So I'm not going to be upset about that. I think that is realistic. Defensive tackle or linebacker here. I think linebacker is another option the Lions could do at 48. I would look towards that. So if it was me, it'd probably be DT at 18 and a linebacker at 48. But this is realistic, and I can't argue with realistic, and I'm not going to get upset about it. Give me your thoughts. Give me your grade on Keeanu Benton at 48. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments below on that one. Let's continue on here at pick 55. This one's going to be controversial to some of you guys. It's not going to be controversial to me. Hendon Hooker at pick 55. If he's there, I think he is a legit target for Brad Holmes. He's 25 years old, folks, but he's had a lot of time in college where he does have experience. He is not the rookie that has to sit there for a couple years to learn. I think if he's healthy with the injury that he sustained, if Jared Goff were to go down or a game or a certain amount of snaps, he can come in and do a fine job. He is a very accurate quarterback, a little over 70% completion percentage. And guess what? He doesn't turn the football over. What kind of sounds like Jared Goff there, right? Doesn't turn the football over. And Brad Holmes have watched him quite a bit, a little bit smitten over Hendon Hooker. So I'm not going to be upset about it, because if you're a playoff team, you need to have the depth on all positions, quarterback included, and he should be a first-round pick. Even before the injury, I think he's QB4. After the injury, now I'm seeing him go into the first round of mock drafts. So if he's sitting there at 55, I think that's a right place to take him. I honestly do. Next player on the list here is Braden Daniels, offensive line. I haven't talked about him specifically on the offensive line, but that is actually a good spot for him. I think he probably around in the 70s or late 60s selection for that. We need help on the offensive line. If you look at the pre-draft visits, they're definitely doing that for the Detroit Lions. They're doing that for sure. And so he's going to be a guy that can help out in the interior and the tackle position. He's got fluid and great footwork. He's a player that can get it done. I think he can do. I absolutely do. I think he's a player that is solid for Detroit. And I think it's more of a value pick here, and we need offensive line. But I haven't talked about him a whole lot. But at 81, I'm not gonna worry about that one. Still, I would look for, personally, I'm looking to get a linebacker before this. I'm looking to get a linebacker. I'm still waiting for that one. Then to continue on the list here, Dorian Williamson, linebacker from Tulane. I don't mind a player, and again, I think he is. This is probably would be picked in round 4, so this is round 5. He's a developmental linebacker, but we have a lot of those developmental linebackers. I'm not going to lie. I am ready to look for a linebacker that can be a little more sturdy now. Second round, third round, like a Jack Campbell or Noah Sewell, and that would be a third-round pick. But, Hanley, all the linebackers, Trenton Simpson I've talked about. So I don't mind taking a developmental player, but at a position like linebacker, I think we need to go a little bit earlier. But the player's fine to me. Developmental guy, I'm not gonna cry about any. Really, it's really hard to cry about anything in round 5 or 6. When you're talking developmental people. Tight end here, Davis Allen. Apparently, they just absolutely love tight ends, by the way, in every mock draft. Look, if they take a tight end in round 6, I'll be It is what it is. I still don't think they need to draft a tight end pretty much at all. Unless like you're looking for a specific type of a blocker or something like that. But I give this, again, a 6th-round pick. I'd probably go wide receiver here. Maybe going another defensive tackle because our depth at DT right now is butt cheeks. So maybe a route like that. Or a running back. But I could see a situation like this for sure. Oh, you didn't even see it. So, Jaden Hazelwood, wide receiver. I actually like that pick there. The guy he's a little bit slow, but he's 6'2". He's a big-bodied frame. He is a 7th-round pick, so if you're going to get him late in the 6th round, no big deal. You don't need a guy to come in immediately if you're looking to develop, and he's the big body. So you could put him in some situations in the red zone, in game situations, and just let him get there and make plays. Say you're on the 5-yard line, you're just trying to throw it up really quick to get a touchdown. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He ran a 4.66 40, but hey, we need to get touchdowns, and that's what it's all about. So, when it comes to this, that's what I got going on there. What is your thoughts on this mock draft? Give it an A, B, C, D, or F. I give this a B, maybe a B+. Again, I probably would have taken linebacker earlier and wide receiver. They ain't too bad of round 5 or 6. I can honestly take wide receiver pretty much in any round, really depending on it. But it's somewhat realistic here. The Hendon Hooker, Keeanu, Benton, Deonte Banks, and Tyree Wilson is realistic. And offensive line, Braden Daniels as well. So it's pretty much switching some names out, but in all honesty, it seems realistic to me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Videos dropping every single day on LNU, baby. Let's go.